old senile insulin receptors are washed out, cleansed out of the body, and
Right.
then in those places, young, stronger, functioning insulin receptors come out.
Right.
So, and then a night formula basically provides necessary nutrients for pancreas, and then with this supply of good nutrients to pancreas, beta cells rejuvenate.
Right. So you're creating a happy pancreas.
That's correct.
So I'm curious about you know what the results of these. You've talked briefly about that, but how long do these results actually stick?
You mean once people become normal?
Once people have been using these products, I think you said there was about a 4 to 6 month ramp up time.
At least.
At
Because
least.
yeah, I'd like to emphasize that point.
Please do.
This is different from traditional pharmaceutical drugs. Traditional pharmaceutical drugs works like this.
Right, instantaneously.
Instantly. Herbal treatment, no. It takes months. So people should be really patient.
So this is not instant miraculous. You're going to see change overnight.
We are not talking about anything miraculous here.
Right.
We are talking about sensible, commonsensical approach. So if you use 4 to 6 months, of course individual results vary. If you 6 months, for example, for those new patients, 70% of new patients become normal, and then they stay normal.
70%.
70%.
That's extremely high.
We are happy about that.
I'll say you're happy about that. That's amazing. And so, again, how long are these results going to last? So you've taken your 4 to 6 months. These are now impacting you.
Once a person becomes normal, as long as that person maintains a healthy lifestyle, it stays there forever.
So when you're talking about healthy lifestyle, are you talking about what's really achievable, or are you talking about something we have to go really above and beyond for?
Commonsensical, healthy lifestyle.
So something we're all capable of.
All capable of.
You remain, as you say, normal.
That's correct.
That's incredible.
We are very happy. We are very happy about the results.
I should say. And I'm curious too, you talked earlier about chronic fatigue, which so many people complain about these days. It's really, really common. You talked about a dramatic increase. We're going to notice a dramatic increase when we use this product.
Yes, and then do you remember we just talked about unrealistic difficulty of diabetic patients maintaining healthy exercise
Right,
diet?
yes.
Yeah. So with this a lot higher level of energy, now they can do exercise.
Now they can actually have a shot at this healthy lifestyle.
And then because of this upregulated insulin receptor, their unnatural appetite is subdued.
Right.
Now
so
they
all
have a
these
chance.
things working together.
Now they have a chance. So before, without some products like Eleotin, requiring them of diet and exercise, just
Right.
unrealistically burdensome requirements. But with Eleotin, it is possible.
Right. Okay. So last question. Side effects?
No,
Nothing.
nothing. So so far we have not heard of any side effects.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Kim. We're going to take a short break.
I heard about Eleotin from somebody in Connecticut when I was there in 1999.
Okay.
And they told me about yourself.
Okay.
And I was very interested in this product, which could reverse, apparently, diabetes. I didn't believe it, of course, but I thought I'd come across on the way back to Australia. And
I see.
As you remember, I came up to see you from Los Angeles.
Yeah, it just sounds like yesterday, but it's already 4 years ago.
So 4 years, been busy 4
Yeah.
years, and in that 4 years we've used the Eleotin in Australia, and
Did you yourself use it?
I've used it myself and
Okay.
my wife because we find that it helps us generally in our health, and even though we keep ourselves very fit, it's improved that even an edge too, which is quite remarkable.
Oh, I see.
Eleotin has a remarkable ability to level out the blood glucose levels without any severe drops.
Okay.
And that is very nice.
Okay.
And it also has a remarkable ability to do it so quickly too. I can comparatively quickly, yet with a slow drop, maintaining a slow drop. And also has the ability to reverse diabetes entirely, which is really unheard of, you know, and quite remarkable.
Yeah, I'm John Coman, father of young Ben Coman, and I'm here to talk with Michael today about the Eleotin.
Yeah, so how long, what happened to Ben? It was 6 weeks, I think, after he had a car accident when he was 3.
That's right, that he developed type 1 diabetes.
Yeah, And how many shots did he have to control him at that time?
When he went into hospital, he was having, about 3 to 4 shots a day trying to control it.
Yes.
Of insulin.
Plus or including the AccuRapid
Yep.
shots for quick control.
Yes.
And how did you hear about Eleotin in the first place, John?
A friend of ours, Greg Buchanan, who was Ben's football coach at the time, introduced us to the Eleotin product with a Q10 product. And once we tried the Eleotin, we sort of got dramatic results.
Yeah. So Ben didn't have to have so many nasty pricks during the day.
Yeah. For the first day, it had a dramatic effect on the fast-acting insulin that we used to have to introduce him to, and then over that week, the slow-acting insulin that we used to have to inject him to became less required as well, and it got to the stage where for a good couple of months we didn't have to inject him with insulin at all, just from being on the Eleotin.
That's so good.
Yeah. He has the fast-acting and the slow-acting insulin combined in the one needle in the mornings, and then also combined again before dinner. So he's only having 2 shots a day.
Okay. And you haven't been on Eleotin for about a year.
Yeah, that'd be right.
So we're going to start again this week.
Yep.
糖已經用過動物同人體嘅試驗，已經證明咗喺美國、加拿大、中國、韓國發售。Eleotin經過人類嘅研究，有10個唔同嘅病患者，佢哋都有已經10年嘅以上嘅糖尿，血糖已經達到380度。經過6個月嘅時間，用Eleotin可以好清楚顯示幫到佢哋，可以降到安全嘅水平。從實驗證明，Eleotin使用嘅已經係冇令到佢冇產生副作用。Eleotin可以絕對幫到佢哋。
Welcome back. You're watching a special edition of The Truth About Diabetes. And my guest today is Dr. Kim, PhD from MIT. Thanks again for being with us, Dr. Kim. Dr. Kim, is P700 the only natural remedy in the fight against diabetes that you would recommend?
For today's show, I'm glad to introduce 2 more. The 6-flavor tea, which is a traditional Chinese
6-flavor tea.
Another tongue twister. This is from India. Pterocarpus marsupium.
Okay, I'll work on that one as well. So you've mentioned 2 different remedies.
That's correct.
Let's start with the 6.
You can also call it Indian Kino.
Indian Kino.
That's better.
Okay, let's work with that one. So let's start with the 6-taste tea that you talked about. Can you tell us a little bit? You said it's a traditional Chinese formulation.
It has been used in Asia for many thousand years.
It's very old.
Very old, and then it has been recognized as a very effective diabetes treatment by many governments in Asia. It is recorded in most pharmacopoeia of the oldest Asian countries.
And pharmacopoeia is
what? An official recipe for drug making. So if you follow the procedures and ingredients of this pharmacopoeia, basically they give the approval almost automatically. So it's like an official cookbook.
Right, okay, so the cookbook of herbal remedies. So Dr. Kim, for the viewers watching, how do we make 6-taste tea?
6 basically is composed of 6 herbs, 6 taste.
6 taste, 6 herbs, that's logical.
That's correct. And then they are very cheap. It is very common herbs.
Very available, very inexpensive. Yeah. Where would I go to a Chinese herbal
So
store?
if you take the list from the internet site we are showing here.
Right, so stay tuned. We'll be showing that website and you can get the specific information.
Yeah, very common. Even without taking the list of the herbs, if you go to a Chinese herb store and say, can I get the herbs for 6-flavored tea, they know.
So you get the herbs, you go home, what do you do with them?
And then basically you ground it in a home blender.
Or like a coffee grinder, possibly?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then 10 grams of these herbs each time.
So 10 grams would be like what, a heaping teaspoon?
A bit larger teaspoon.
Okay.
And then
so almost a tablespoon.
Yeah, and then you put it in almost boiling hot water.
Okay.
10 minutes. Here we go.
So steep it for 10 minutes and
Yeah.
then it's ready to drink.
During the break, I made one. Please, would you just...
Okay, you've got a sample for me.
yeah,
So
would
this
you
is the
taste?
6-taste tea that I'm going to taste here. Wow, it tastes like a really fresh herbal tea.
It is a fresh herbal tea.
I guess that's what
yeah,
it is.
Yeah, and then if you have if you take that tea over a long period of time, you get great result.
So there's some long-standing
Every
results here.
herbal treatments are basically a long-term treatment.
And now I noticed there's a lot of sediment in the tea. Am I supposed to eat that?
Some people find find the taste very awful, but you get accustomed to it. But if you don't take the sediment, you can rebrew it. Rebrew at least.
So once you've consumed the tea, you reuse the sediment again in the next batch?
Yeah, and then you can rebrew it 2 to 3 times.
So this is becoming very economical because you've already said the herbs are extremely inexpensive.
So 1 month supply, you can get $10 and most
Wow.
$20.
Okay, so 1 month supply of a natural diabetes remedy, $20.
$20.
Can't beat that.
And then I'm excited about this formula, not because of its cheap price, but because of its safety.
So say more about that.
Compared with pharmaceutical drugs, this is way, way safer. It doesn't have any side effects.
Hold on a second here, because this is incredible. What you're saying that this natural remedy, this formulation you can make yourself for $20 a month is safer than a pharmaceutical prescription
That's what
you're
I'm
getting
saying.
from your doctor.
A lot safer. They don't have this herbal treatment have no side effects.
So no side
and
effects.
then this formula is known to have no resistance developed. So
you don't have to increase the dosage.
No.
So okay, let's talk turkey here. What about scientific evidence?
There's an irony here, because this formula has been known so well. People don't see too much need to prove it again scientifically.
So no economic
reasons.
benefit is what I'm hearing.
So patent is impossible because everybody already knows it.
Right.
So because this is not patentable, nobody wants to invest. So because this is too well known, ironically, there's a bit little science about this product.
Right.
But compared with this 6-flavor tea, P700 is very well studied.
Right,
Very
that's
well
what I was going to ask. How does this 6-taste tea compare with P700?
in terms of the quality and quantity of scientific research, P700 is way, way above this 6-flavor tea. And then especially the long-term effect of P700 on diabetes is well established, while the studies on the long-term effect of this 6-flavor tea is still some way to go before very well established.
Sounds like there's just not a lot of money there to support
That's
doing
correct.
further studies.
Yeah, so that's the fate or many herbal treatment face actually. It is not patentable, so nobody wants to put money
But you
there.
have confidence in this 6-taste tea.
I strongly recommend.
Right.
And then the safe and cheap, no side effects.
Safe and cheap and no side effects.
Yeah,
That's
and
what we want to hear.
Therefore, before these pharmaceutical drugs, I say people should try this.
Right. Okay. So let's talk about the other remedy you mentioned briefly. I believe
Indian treatment.
Indian treatment, Pterocarpus marsupium.
You are doing very well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So this is an Indian treatment, and you used a word on the break, Ayurvedic.
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 Ayur means in ancient Indian language called life. Vedic means from Veda, which is a way. So it's a way of life.
Way of life.
Yeah. So it's a word that describes traditional Indian medicine science.
Right. And so how does this, can I call it PMT?
Yeah, Indian
Okay.
Kino.
Indian Kino. So
Yeah.
how does this differ from the 6-taste tea in terms of its applicability to, you mentioned type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes?
Yeah, there is actually a very particular reason why I'm quite excited about this Indian Kino, PMT.
Right.
I believe some of their claims about its effect on type 1 diabetes are convincing.
Right. So we've been focusing a lot of the show on the type
2
2
diabetes. Yeah, because P700 is mainly for type 2 diabetes.
Right. Okay.
But even though
So the impact on type 1.
even though we say P700 is for type 2 diabetes, some desperate type 1 diabetes patients actually use P700 diabetes.
And
So far, no person has been cured of
so
type 1 diabetes.
nobody has become, as you say, normal.
Yeah, so there are many, 70% of the users become normal when they have type 2
So
diabetes.
70%
Yeah,
type 2.
but no one with a type 1 diabetes became normal.
Right.
But they succeeded in reducing their daily insulin requirement by 60 to 70%, which is
So
quite
significant.
good. Yeah, but the is significant, but it's not a cure. It's
Right.
not normal.
So it doesn't do the same as it does for type 2.
Yeah, P700 is basically for type 2 diabetes.
Right. Okay.
But
So let's talk about this PMT. You were saying it has an impact on type 1.
Claims of this pterocarpus marsupium on type 1 diabetes, I have reasons to believe them. So
significant health benefit to type 1 diabetes.
that's correct.
So-
That's why I'm excited about this treatment.
Okay, so I'm hearing what you're saying about PMT and P700, and what would happen, Dr. Kim, if you blended the two products together?
That's a great idea. I don't regard these two products as competitor. They are just strong in its own area. But combining these two products, they are both safe. They are both helping greatly. Actually, a leader of Indian Diabetes Association advised me that, Dr. Kim, why don't you combine these two? Actually, that's
So it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for future medical developments, potentially.
But I'm excited by this both treatment.
Right, right. So Dr. Kim, you've mentioned 6-Days Tea, PMT, and we've talked about P700 as well. Are there many other herbal formulations out
As
there?
I said, there are more than 2,000.
More than 2,000 individual herbs, and you talked before about how a lot of these herbs are actually toxic. So I'm curious then, so how can people then get more information on these herbal formulations that we haven't covered in the show today?
Before it was very difficult. Before there were not many informations, but these days situation improved. There are a lot of available already, quite available in the internet. So in the website we are introducing at the end of this show, we refer to those websites, and there are many very understandable, very well written papers how to use. Also, I mentioned this 7 criteria.
Right, you mentioned that earlier in the show.
With which we can guide through this 2,000 herbal treatments. We have to avoid certain widespread myths. All herbal treatments are safe? No. There are many fatally dangerous herbal treatments.
So this doesn't get a lot of airtime, what you're talking about, because it seems to me to be a widespread understanding that naturopathic or all herbal, all natural formulations are quite safe and benign. Well, you're saying that's not true.
That's not true. So what is not true either is that it is also wrong to believe that all natural treatments are not effective. That's also wrong. Some natural treatments are very effective, very good, but it's also wrong that all natural treatments are safe. No, some are very dangerous.
So you need to approach this topic with
common
sense and do some research. You're saying there's lots of websites. You're also mentioning that at the end of the show, we're going to be showing the website that you can go to for more information specific to what you're talking about. So very interesting. So you're not a medical doctor.
I'm not a medical doctor.
And you're not here giving medical advice.
I'm not giving medical. I'm today giving a view on the recent exciting development of this natural treatment on diabetes.
Because there's a lot here to talk about, and it's been very exciting.
We are very excited about this recent development.
I can see why. Now, the point that you have made many times during the show, and I think it's an important point to conclude on, is that it is essential that you don't reduce or outright stop taking your medication that's being prescribed to you without consulting with your physician. In fact, consult with your physician.
That's very important. I cannot emphasize too much. Any reduction or suspension of prescription drugs should be consulted with your physician prior to the reduction of suspension. Otherwise, it can be fatally dangerous.
So talk to your physician first. Don't just stop taking your pharmaceutical drugs, even if what you've heard on the show today has you very excited. Don't just stop. Talk to your physician. That's great. So Dr. Kim, thank you so much for being on the show. It's
Thank
been
you very much.
so interesting.
Thank you very much.
Again, you've been watching The Truth About Diabetes. And if you have any questions, please visit the website that's listed on your screen. Dr. Kim, your interest and desire to help in this way gives us all so much more hope for diabetes.
Thank you very much for
thank you
inviting me
again
here.
for being my guest on the
Thank
show
you very
today.
much, yeah.